Okay, so I haven't done a comic video in a while, but here's an old series of comic books, The Unknown Soldier. I remember this from when I was a kid. I just happen to have a few, secondhand reader copy kind of issues here. Yeah, The Unknown Soldier. He's a World War II soldier. He's got bandages all over his face. Kind of looks like a mummy in uniform. And he fights Nazis and I'm sure fascists and Imperial Japanese, and but he's like a World War II soldier who was crippled in an accident, or basically had like his face blown off or whatever, and so he has to wear the bandages, or because he's like super ugly and disfigured or whatever underneath that, and then he also is a master of disguise. So he's like this master spy during World War II, and he's like, it's almost like a superhuman ability to impersonate any enemy leader or enemy soldier or anybody, and yeah, so he goes around undercover. He gets exposed like every issue, but as soon as he does, then then they wrap it up and all the action and all the war action you would expect from a war comic. I mean, it takes place in World War II, but it's non-linear in that it's always just a 1 or 2 issue arc of one particular incident. This could be in, I don't know, in Britain, I guess. And then the issue after this would probably wrap it up. And then they might jump back in time to, earlier in the war or something, and I don't know. Anyway, it's not like it continues like in any linear fashion, which makes it a way that they can just like tap in and say, oh, here's another tale of the adventures of the Unknown Soldier, without having to keep like a continuity really, and just keep throwing stories at you so that you get confused and there's really no timeline. It's World War II. He's master of disguise, and he solves all these mysteries and fights Nazis again, as one does. And here they call him the Immortal Warrior and Lady Jade back in action. And I don't know. Like, after a while, he's just another soldier. Yeah, he's really competent and he's a good fighter and everything, or a great fighter, almost superhuman. But he just happens to have bandages on his face. Just another superhero, right? And everybody recognizes him. So he's not really unknown. He just doesn't have a name. And then we got ninjas, for some reason. Yeah, so it's all about the war and fantastic adventures that we didn't even know took place during the war. Like this lady in this cape with the cleavage running around fighting German or Japanese soldiers. I'm not sure. I think they're Japanese. Yeah, and it's got some backup stories in there. Unknown Soldier, for some reason, I mean, every issue is only like half him, and the other half is like other stories. See, this one also has Enemy Ace, which is another character that came from, I don't know, Weird War Tales, or maybe just War Tales, or whatever. I don't know, there was a lot of war comics in the 70s for some reason. Yeah, here he is, Unknown Soldier, getting his face pulled off, or his, prosthetic rubber face. He's discovered by the very person he is impersonating. And looks like Enemy Ace is also fighting his exact double, his evil twin, as they say here on the cover. Yeah, and I know I do this a lot, but let's look at the prices on these. Okay, this one, let's see if I can get the years. This one is 1977, and it's 35 cents. This one's 1979, and it's 40 cents. This one's 1981, 2 years later, and it's 50 cents. This one's 1982, 1 year later, and it's 60 cents. So I noticed it more in DC Comics at the time than Marvel, but their prices went up and up and up, and they made these jumps that, like, some cases it was a matter of months, and comics went up like 10 cents, and or 5 cents. Or, living in Canada, you always had to be aware of, sometimes it would have a Canadian price on there as well. Like this one says 35 cents. I guess that's US or Canada. Whereas this one doesn't specifically say anything about Canada, but it says 60 cents, but 20p in the UK. Yeah, it was confusing and expensive to be a comic book fan in 1980. Yeah, The Unknown Soldier, I mean, I'd always known about it. I never really cared that much for it. I don't really care for war comics in general, but this one has a, kind of a unique sort of, if not superhuman, more of a like an espionage spy kind of thing. And he's got kind of a superpower. He's like the chameleon. He can assume anybody's identity. And he fights Nazis. That's the real superpower. Just say no to Nazis.